Hey everyone, ready to dive into another deep dive. Today we're tackling The Automatic Millionaire by David Bach.
Oh yeah, a classic.
It's one you all sent in, and honestly, the title kind of says it all, right? Who wouldn't want to unlock that automatic millionaire secret?
Right. I mean, who doesn't? And it's a popular one for a reason.
For sure.
It really breaks down those financial barriers.
Yeah.
Makes it feel doable even if you're someone who gets a little lost in the weeds with all the usual money advice.
It can feel overwhelming sometimes, for sure.
Totally, and this book kind of cuts through all of that.
Yeah, it's less about those get-rich-quick schemes, which never work, by the way,
Never.
and more about building a system that just kind of works on autopilot in the background.
Exactly.
So what's the core concept here? What's the big takeaway that makes this book stand out?
It's almost like Bach found a way to outsmart our own brains when it comes to money.
Interesting.
The whole thing hinges on automating your savings before you even have a chance to spend it.
So you're talking about automating all those good intentions we have, like those times we say, okay, this month I'm going to be really good about saving.
Exactly.
But then life happens and, it just doesn't quite pan out the way we planned.
Yeah, it's because we're wired to want things now, right?
Hmm.
That instant gratification.
Instant gratification.
Like you think about that present bias concept from behavioral economics. We're way more drawn to a treat today than, say, a slightly comfier retirement 30 years from now.
It's true. We are all only human.
Exactly.
And even if logically we totally get that saving is the smart move, actually doing it consistently, it's a struggle.
Oh, it's huge.
It really is.
And that's where the automation piece just transforms everything.
Okay, so it takes the emotion out of it.
All of it.
That willpower struggle, poof, gone.
Gone.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, paint me a picture here. How does this automation thing actually work in practice, according to Bach?
So Bach is all about setting up these automatic transfers, direct deposits. Think of it like having these little financial elves, right? They just whisk away a tiny bit of each paycheck
Love it, financial elves.
and put it into a separate savings account or an investment account.
Okay.
And you barely even notice it's gone, but it really starts to add up.
It's out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly.
Okay, but I gotta ask, what about people who are listening right now and thinking, there's barely anything left in my account after bills. How am I supposed to siphon off even more?
That's where this other brilliant idea from the book comes in.
Okay.
The Latte Factor.
Ooh, I've heard of this.
Have you?
Yeah, it's a dangerous one for me.
It is, right?
I love my lattes.
It gets you.
It really does.
Yeah.
So explain the latte factor.
So the idea is that most of us, we have these little areas, right?
Yeah.
Where you're spending, often without even realizing.
Right.
These small, kind of insignificant seeming things, but they add up big time over time.
Oh, yeah, the little things.
The little things.
Definitely guilty of that.
Well, he uses the example of a $5 latte, right?
Every day.
Every single day, which doesn't sound like much on any given day, right?
No, not at all.
But over a year, that's $1,825.
That's a vacation.
That's a vacation. That's a serious chunk of change.
Wow. Okay.
Just from redirecting that one small thing.
It's really putting into perspective.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's not about deprivation. It's just about being, conscious.
Right. Making intentional choices.
Intentional choices. Exactly.
Not about being a penny pincher.
No.
It's more about spending your money on things that you actually value.
Yes, and realizing okay, those 3 lattes a week
Yeah.
could be a really nice dinner.
That's a good point.
Or, put towards something else that you're saving for.
Yeah, that you're actually working towards.
Yeah. So it just aligns your spending with your bigger goals and values.
Yeah, so you're not just reacting to your finances. You're kind of becoming the architect of them, in a way.
Exactly.
Taking control.
Taking control, yeah.
Okay, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think about my own spending habits in a whole new light now. Where can I find a latte factor or two to redirect?
Right. It makes you think twice.
It does.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about this book, right? It's not like, here's a rigid set of rules. It's more about prompting you to really look at your relationship with money,
I like that. It's very self-reflective.
It is, and it helps you to make choices that actually serve you in the long run.
Yeah, okay, love this concept. But let's get down to brass tacks. What are some actionable steps people can take to put this automation magic into play?
So it all starts with knowing what you're actually aiming for, right?
Okay, define your goals.
What are your financial goals?
Right.
Are you trying to retire early? Do you want to buy a house? Start a business?
Become an automatic millionaire.
Become an automatic millionaire. Exactly. Whatever it is for you. Once you have that clear vision of your why, then it's like all of a sudden automating your savings just has this whole new level of purpose.
Makes sense because just saving for the sake of saving.
Yeah.
It doesn't really light that fire under you.
Not as much as having that dream.
Right, that tangible thing to work toward.
Exactly. And don't worry, because Bach, he lays out the practical stuff too.
Perfect, that's what we like.
Right. Like how to actually set up those automatic transfers, how to max out your direct deposit, how to really leverage those employer-sponsored retirement plans, all geared towards, just that effortless wealth building over time.
Speaking of those retirement plans, it feels like there's a whole other layer of automation potential there, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You got to get into that.
Yeah. We'll dive into that a little bit more later.
Okay.
But especially like those employer matches,
Mm.
Free money. You got to be taking advantage of that.
Oh, absolutely. Free money. Yes, please. We're going to dive into all that good stuff and more right after this. Okay, so we're back and ready to keep going deeper on this whole automatic millionaire thing.
Absolutely.
So it really seems like the beauty of this whole system is that it flips the script, It's no longer about you having to constantly chase after your finances.
Right.
It's more like you've set up this financial autopilot that's just kind of working in the background.
Totally, yeah. And it's working for you, not the other way around.
Exactly. And then you add in the magic of compound interest and it's
Yeah.
game over.
Exactly.
Day.
That's where it gets really exciting.
Yes. I'm such a sucker for that compound interest magic.
It's amazing.
It feels like everyone's heard the phrase compound interest, but not everyone truly grasps the power of it.
Right.
It's like time becomes this secret weapon working in your favor.
It really is. It's like that snowball, right? You start small,
The snowball effect. Love it.
and over time,
Yeah.
it just keeps building and
With
building.
Centum.
Exactly.
And the sooner you start, the more time that snowball has to really gain some serious momentum.
The bigger it gets.
Exactly. It all makes sense now why Bach called this the automatic millionaire. It's not about suddenly winning the lottery or something.
Yeah.
It's about putting these systems in place that over time just kind of quietly make you a millionaire.
Exactly. It's that slow and steady wins the race kind of thing.
I love it. Okay, but I got to ask, Bach also talks about home ownership in this book, right?
He does, yeah.
And I feel like that's a whole other can of worms these days, especially with, the market being what it is.
The hot topic for sure.
Yeah. Is it even realistic to consider homeownership as a core part of this automatic millionaire plan?
Well, and Bach acknowledges that,
Okay.
He's not saying it's one size fits all, especially not in today's market.
Right, because for some people, it might not be attainable at all right now.
Exactly.
So it's about being realistic and making the best choice for your situation.
Yes, exactly. It's about making a smart financial decision based on, where you are in life, what your actual goals are.
Your individual circumstances.
Yeah. Are you looking for a place to settle down and you're going to be there for 10 plus years?
Right, or are you more in a I need flexibility phase of life?
Exactly. So it's not just should I rent or buy. It's more nuanced.
Right, right.
He wants you to weigh the pros and cons of both.
So homeownership isn't inherently good or bad. It's just a tool.
It's a tool. Exactly.
And like any tool, it depends how you use it.
Exactly. Some people, it might be a great fit for others. Maybe not so much.
Right. You got to factor in your own goals.
Yeah. But he does see it as a potentially powerful wealth building tool when used strategically.
Makes sense. It's not just about having a roof over your head.
Right. It's about having that roof over your head and having it potentially grow in value over time.
Okay, so it's about thinking long-term, thinking strategically.
Exactly. And that's something Bach does really well.
Okay.
He takes all these ideas
Yeah.
and makes them feel, actionable.
Which I appreciate. So much financial advice out there is kind of big picture and theoretical.
Yeah. And this book really does get down to the nitty-gritty.
Okay, so for our listeners who are ready to put this into practice, what are some of those key takeaways, those actionable steps from The Automatic Millionaire?
So for anyone ready to dive into the nitty-gritty of The Automatic Millionaire, let's recap those key takeaways.
Love a good recap. Got to make sure it all sinks in.
Exactly. So first up, prioritize automation. Seriously, setting up those automatic transfers. It's like giving your future self a high five.
It's like your money is working for you, even when you're sleeping.
Exactly. Then there's the latte factor we talked about, right? It's about tuning in to those small, sneaky expenses that can really add up.
Yeah, those sneaky lattes got me there for a minute.
They get us all. But by becoming more mindful, you free up more to put towards your goals. And then, of course, the magic of compound interest.
Always a favorite topic around here.
It's like financial alchemy, right? Starting early, even with small amounts, can make a huge difference over time.
Huge. Okay, and last but not least, when it comes to homeownership,
It's all about making strategic choices. Bach wants you to weigh the pros and cons based on your situation, your goals.
It's not a one-size-fits-all thing like so much in personal finance.
Right. Some people, it's a great move. Others, maybe not so much. The key is to be informed and make the choice that aligns with your personal circumstances.
It's all about empowerment, right? Taking control of your finances and making them work for you.
Exactly. And I think that's what's so great about this book. It's not about deprivation or sticking to some rigid set of rules. It's about making conscious choices that set you up for long-term success.
It's like that old saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is now.
Exactly. It's never too late to start building those positive financial habits.
Love it. David Bach's The Automatic Millionaire, everyone. Definitely a lot to chew on there.
Lots of actionable advice, which is what we love.
Absolutely. And for everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring those fascinating ideas, and remember, your financial journey is in your hands.
Here's to that.
And we'll be back soon with another deep dive to help you navigate it.